How to set a default shape and a default text box in PowerPoint. Depending on how a template has been put together, you may find that the way shapes go into a slide doesn't really look very smart. So let's pop a shape in here. I'll draw this in. And the default is to have an outline on a shape. Now, I don't think this looks very nice, so we have the option to change it. So the colour is always going to be the first colour of your colour palette, but we can choose a different colour. So let's say we want to have the green, and if I go to the drop down, the one below is without an outline. And I think that looks much nicer than with the outline. So if I right click the shape, and down the bottom, we have set as default shape. So now any shape that I put in, let's pop a circle in here, is going to pick up that colour and it's not going to have the outline around it. Okay. So this can be done at a file level, but also you can do this in your template when you open up the slide master, and you can set the default shape there too, so that every time anybody opens the template, they will automatically get, in this case, the green shape without the outline around it. Okay, so that's the first thing. Secondly, I would often see templates that organizations are working with, and fonts haven't been put in properly into the template, and therefore there's a mismatch when somebody inserts a text box, because the text box picks up the default font, which if it's an old file could be Calibri, or if it's a new file it will be Aptos. So how can we fix that? So if I go to insert a text box, I draw a text box, and I need to start typing in straight away, otherwise the text box will disappear. So let's just pop text box in there. So in this example, the font in my text box is Aptos, and the font in the rest of my presentation, my title is Open Sans, and also my placeholder, text placeholder, is Open Sans. So I'm going to have a mismatch if somebody puts a text box in. So what I can do here, I can click on the outside of the text box and I can change that to be Open Sans, but I can also specify how big I want that to be. So if I want that to be larger, maybe I want that to be 24 as the text box, I can specify the size as well as the font. I need to click on the outside of the text box so that it's a solid line, and then right click, and I have set as default text box. So that can be done at the slide level, but it can also be done at the slide master level. So let's just have a quick look at the slide master by going to View and Slide Master. With a slide master, we always have to scroll up to get to the actual slide master. These are the layout masters. So what I find people tend to do here is they may select the title and they change the font manually to the font that they want, and they'll do the same to the placeholder. So that's fine, but it means that every time there's a text box, that text box is not going to be picked up with the right font. So what you need to do here is, on the slide master level, you need to choose your fonts from this drop-down menu here. Now, if your font pairing isn't here, you can customize fonts and you can choose how you want those to look. So for example, if I want to create Open Sans, I can type in O here. It will take me to O, and then I can scroll down there until I find Open Sans. So I'm saying that every time I have a heading, it will be Open Sans, and the same with the body font, Open Sans, and I can call this a name, so I can call it Open Sans, or whatever name is relevant to my template, and save. And then I am formatting that font for this particular template. So then if I do it that way, it means that my default text box will always be Open Sans. But let's just try this out. If I go to Insert, Text Box, and I put a text box in here, it's picked it up from that slide level, so it's font 24. So again, if I do it here, it's going to be every time somebody opens the template, or if I do it at the file, it's going to work at the file level. So I might change that maybe to be font 20, highlight the outside, right click, and set as default text box. So I hope you found that useful. So as I say, that's a slide level or a slide master level, template level. So you have two different options for how that works. And it's the same with the shapes and the text boxes. So let's just pop in a shape. Let's go just pop in a shape and check that that's worked here as well. Yep, so it's picking it up. But if I do that in my template, then it's going to be shared throughout the organization. I hope you found this video useful. Please subscribe. And if you need any help with PowerPoint training, please reach out. Thank you very much.